Hi everyone and welcome back to the series of vendor panel videos by Wipro. My name is Nico Capitoni, I'm the Regional Practice Head at Wipro. Based on the first SASE panel, we've been asked to extend the scope to more topics. As a result, we've been interviewed 25 CISOs across DACH and Southern Europe, and 2 topics have emerged as the top priorities: SIEM and DLP. In this video, we'll focus on SIEM only, and I don't need to explain you why, I guess, right? For this, we have invited top 5 vendors in the industry. With me today, Grégory Cardier from CrowdStrike, Prakash Belundagi from Securonics, Ralph Gomeringer from Google Cloud, Jörg Fischer from Splunk, Urban Conrad from Palo Alto Networks, and finally, Tamas Sivos Aradi from Microsoft. In this session, each panelist will answer 5 questions with just 30 seconds to respond. This is a great chance for all of us to understand the unique value propositions and differentiators in this rapidly evolving space. Today's discussion will focus on the following topics: perspective on XDR, thoughts on autonomous SOC and agentic AI, costs, threat detection capabilities across IT and OT environments, and a focus on data governance. The order of the speakers has been determined from a live draw, ensuring no preference. Let's begin by putting 30 seconds on the clock. So what's your perspective on XDR? Does it really replace SIEM or does it complement it?
So I think it's an evolution more than anything else. If you are to look into the evolution of the SIEM market, more or less one of the observations is people try to build some sort of detection use cases and so on, and miserably fail probably for the last, I don't know how many years, due to crazy false positives and so on. What we started to see is different vendors coming up with their own detection use case itself, and the idea is how do you correlate all of these data points into something that is usable. And what we do is to provide at CrowdStrike some sort of a very comprehensive view through our platform that we call Next-Gen SIEM or AI native SOC, depending on what you want to see.
At Securonics, we believe that XDR is endpoint-focused detection and response solution. It also provides third-party data ingestion capability. On the other side, SIEM is meant for holistic threat detection and response. So with that in mind, we believe that XDR complements SIEM. It will not replace SIEM. There are small organizations who try to manage their SOC with just XDR, but eventually they realize that SIEM is needed for complex data integrations and breach investigation and also longer data retention.
Extended detection and response is providing a lot of interesting and useful logs, especially from endpoints. We at Google, for instance, we use data that comes from managed Chrome and Chrome OS devices, but still we like to complement that with more like data coming from network, infrastructure logs basically, which complements that data coming from endpoints. Because XDR, as we see in more complex organizations, simply does not suffice.
I think from our point of view, XDR is the beauty to get a lot of insights in a fast way. This is definitely the beauty with XDR. But if you are talking about the whole picture, you want to see the big picture with everything, then you have to focus on the SIEM to have this additional insights from the SIEM as well. And if you're talking about the threat incident response process, then it's a different approach to focus on this as well. With the data, what we have on the platform, especially the statistical data, what a lot of customers are using to have insights for the last 12 months. This is something what is complementing the XDR solution as well.
So from a capability standpoint, usually XDR and SIEM technologies work best if they are used in a tandem, hand in hand, instead of replacing each other's. While modern XDR solutions like ours are using behavioral analytics, advanced threat intel, or AI to stitch multiple alerts into a single incident, that creates some overlaps with SIEM technologies, right? This is why we created Cortex XIM, a single product to cope with all the required capabilities in a SOC.
Our experience at Microsoft is that a strong XDR is really essential. That's what we hear from our customers, from our partners, from MSSPs. And by strong XDR, we mean an XDR that spans at least endpoint, identity, and email domains. But we can actually go further than that. And a year and a half ago, we announced our unified SecOps platform, which, as the name implies, unifies and brings together our XDR and SIEM products, thereby allowing our customers to benefit from the depth and simplicity of an XDR and the breadth and the flexibility of a SIEM in the same product, in the same platform.
So what's your thought on autonomous SOC? Is your company ready for it? and including the use of agentic AI?
We at Securonics believe that agentic AI is picking up very fast in the market, but are we fully ready with autonomous SOC at this moment? Probably not yet. It's a journey is what we believe, and currently industry is moving fast forward towards agentic AI adoption in SOC as a SOC accelerator. We are also moving fast in this direction. We just announced our first generation agents as part of the agentic AI journey.
Google has invested heavily in generative AI, and we have integrated Gemini and Google SecOps now for a while. It's based on SecLM, which is our model that is specifically trained on security, and we help analysts, for instance, doing summaries, but also rule creation or playbooks creation. We're moving towards agents. We recently announced that, and the first agents will be helping analysts with, for instance, triage. But in the end, we believe that this should help the analyst and not replace them. We want to augment the analyst's experience, basically.
We had a lot of discussion with customers about streamlining their process in the SOC, and related to the process, they are trying to use the TDR process to move into this autonomous drive. This is important for them as well, and we have the SOAR solution as part of the TDR process as well. But as a second factor, we have the AI assistant. The AI assistant helping the customer to streamline their process, leaving their SOP with the products as well. And related to Cisco, we have the integration with XDR on a generic AI as well.
Yeah, Nico, if you ask if you're ready, yes, we are definitely ready. So our SOC platform is AI-driven. We just released Cortex-XSIAM 3.0, which streamlines security operations by bringing together data security, orchestration, response, and the whole automation part. We do believe that these things are important to play together in order to bring down mean time to detect and mean time to remediate. Only with that, you can bring together visibility, prevention, and control autonomously.
So I think with Microsoft, the technology itself is already here. Security Copilot, our Gen AI-based assistant, has been available for more than a year now. And our customers have built more than 1 million AI agents on our productivity platform, Office 365. And a couple of weeks ago, we announced security-specific agents, like a phishing triage agent. So the technology is already here. I think many customers have realized that the time when AI will run the SOC for us is probably still in the future. But as we said, it's a journey, and we have to start that journey and start early. And that's what we are doing with our customers.
Yeah, so CrowdStrike has been leveraging AI since the foundation 15 years ago. So the idea was pretty simple. Find threats, find them fast, reduce the mean time to detect, mean time to respond with very efficient detections. Now, it has moved to something called Charlotte AI, which is our AI kind of agent chaining system that actually provides you explainability into what actually are the detection that you see, triage guidance and response guidance, and eventually allow you to even write scripting to remediate.
So how do you SIEM assist customers in optimizing costs without compromising the security aspects?
First of all, Google SecOps has a very simple and linear pricing model, which is based purely on ingestion, no strings attached. On top of that, we assist customers with providing dashboards that help them analyze ingestion and help them also correlate that with detection rule activity. Additionally, 12 months of data storage comes by design, which is really great for retro hunting and adds a lot of value to the whole thing. Then what we recently announced is native data pipeline management that we will do on the ingestion point, but also on the ingestion pipeline. And on top of that, Google SecOps comes with a full SOAR platform, which adds additional value to our customers when using the platform.
Yeah, whenever you have discussions with customers, they are talking with us about comprehensive security and smart data management, and we chat and worked pretty hard related to this topic, and we implemented the data tiering strategy. With the data tiering strategy, we have the possibility to move the more important data, the variable data, into the SOC environment to ingest them and use them in the SOC, and the low important data into cheaper storage than S3. This is something what we try. Second thing is federated search, to search on different environments, the same thing.
Yeah, I would like to focus on business outcomes and efficiency. Cortex-XSIAM is heavily focusing on automation. We streamline workflows with out-of-the-box integrations, actually hundreds, and automations, right? And by correlating data from different sources, being it the network, the endpoint, or the cloud, we are making sure that customers easily get a fast view on response and automate then the actions.
Yeah, Nico, it feels a bit like this question was tailor-made for us because cost optimization is actually a built-in feature of Microsoft Sentinel. In fact, it's called SOC optimization because it does more than just cost optimization. It helps you, of course, to identify data you could move to cheaper storage, but it also helps you identify areas where you could improve your coverage. For example, it tells you whether you have detection rules that you could activate that are available but not active in your environment. And with that, it helps you to save costs and also improve security at the same time.
So it's interesting you asked. The first is the speed. So for us, it's we see from our threat intel capabilities that about 51 seconds is the shortest pass last year for people to do the first lateral movement. So we want to provide a platform which is extremely fast for analysts. So whenever they have a problem, they can see an outcome. The second is the product comes for free. So whenever you acquire CrowdStrike, you have all of the DR data that consumes about 85% of the total volume of SIEM. And then the third is provide also some additional logs for context and so on, but also all of the XDR capabilities for up to 10 gig of day for free, which is the consumption model.
At Securonics, we bring in the cost optimization using very flexible licensing model. We have a data pipeline manager, which helps customer to streamline data at various requirement based on the customer needs. And we use the Snowflake as a backend engine for our data lake that helps customer to render the data for 365 days of duration retention as well as a faster search. With this, we bring in the cost optimization to customers.
So, Jörg, how do you maintain effective threat detection between both IT and OT environments?
Yes, whenever we have discussions with customers, we are talking about this common visibility. At first, they have the OT environment, they have the IT environment. At the moment, they try to bring it together. From our point of view with Splunk, we try to focus on a layered approach. This is important for the strategy. We have an add-on for the SIEM solution at Splunk, and we can use Modbus protocols or other OT protocols to leverage them as well. This is important for our strategy. And from the other point of view, together with Cisco, we have the possibility to have the cyber vision approach with all the capabilities based on OT to bring them together with Splunk.
So I want to focus on three things. First of all, what we want to make sure is that we deliver continuous, real-time, specific threat intel to the customer using our platform. Secondly, what we want to make sure we are delivering purpose-built, specific exploit and malware prevention modules for OT environments, for example. And thirdly, which is probably not a security capability, but we want to make sure that for critical OT environments, we do not interfere with security regulations, so all our modules can run in detect mode only.
So at Microsoft, we have 14,000 security professionals who work on nothing else but on maintaining effective threat detection in our products. And that's one thing. But we also collect and analyze 84 trillion signals per day, and that's a staggering number. But more important than that is, I think, the huge diversity of signal that we have coming from the three of the largest commercial clouds, one of the largest global networks, or Windows, just to name a few things. And I think it's this combination of quality and quantity that enables us and our customers to stay ahead of evolving threats.
So CrowdStrike sees two different things, the threats first and the coverage second. Whenever you think about OT, you have a lot of diverse operating systems that are operating, and CrowdStrike provide coverage for all of the current operating system, but also legacy system, which is part of different releases that we announced last year. The second is around the threat intel and the knowledge that we have. So part of what we do is we have a threat intel team that is dedicated for finding OT-related threats, as well as an entire hunting team as well. And finally, the capabilities that we have to allow to kind of go above and beyond a sensor capability to scan the environment to provide the most comprehensive view of the infrastructure.
We at Securonics, we ingest the data from any sources, be it it's IT, OT, or IoT. Once we have data in our platform, we have the right use cases available to run it across detection, be it it's IT, OT, or IoT. We use two important elements part of this one. One is the ATM, which is adaptive threat modeling, and autonomous threat sweep. So these two elements keeps us up in terms of detecting any of the threats.
When it comes to like emerging threat detection on IT and OT environments, we have analysts at Google and Mandiant like tirelessly working to provide threat intel that we provide in the platform as curated detections. And when it comes to like building IT and OT within the same SecOps, we can do that. So we can use that to like build an umbrella over both environments or have them segregated as customers desire. But on top of that, we can also offer Mandiant managed detection and defense services specifically tailored to OT environments.
So how do you address the growing of data governance, especially the storage of PII linkable data?
Yes, at Palo Alto Networks, we address the growing requirements on data regulation with proximity first. So what we ensure is that we deliver all the cloud-delivered security services in country. So in our example, Cortex XSIAM can be consumed fully within Switzerland, data not leaving the country. That's the first thing. The second thing is that all our data centers are certified with the highest industry standards. And the third thing, we want to assure transparency with detailed documentation, giving the customers assurance that they know exactly how we treat their data at every step.
So at Microsoft, we have a saying that your data is your data, and that means that the customer is always in full control of their data. And as an example, we just completed our EU data boundary project, which means that all customer data can be stored and processed within the EU if the customer so wishes. We also have done things like customer managed keys or customer logbox that allow the customers, even in the most regulated industries in Switzerland, to use our solutions in a compliant way. And then I'd like to mention our European digital commitments, which we announced recently, that double down on our commitments to Europe, to European sovereignty, and to privacy.
So at CrowdStrike, things are extremely simple. We have capabilities that we bake in the product, allowing to share on other data. So that's one thing. The second is we have a very precise set of controls documented that customer can access, defining how the data are stored and processed. Here in Europe, we would eventually have a dedicated cloud, which simplified the discussion with customers.
At SecureOnyx, our platforms are well protected using the advanced security controls. That includes advanced encryptions, key management, access control, and data masking. Data masking very specifically addressing the PII linkable data. And the second piece, what we do is we provide the hosting and any regulatory compliance specific to geography will be supported by the platform. And the third element is we work with customer to ensure that any new regulatory requirement comes in can also be facilitated as part of our platform hosting and the service.
So Google SecOps can be deployed in the region that serves and helps with your regulatory requirements. That's first of all. Then if you have multiple instances, you can federate these to make sure that it's easy to use in the end. But also what we can do is we can mask and we can eliminate data from ever entering the instance. And then we can also make sure that we can scope so that no wrong person is accessing the data from your own environment. Then in the end, we also offer customer managed encryption keys that customers basically stay in full control of their encryption keys and purge data if they need to.
Yes, as you know, we have different environments with our customers. We have the hybrid environments. That means some of the customers are using the Splunk on-prem. Some others use them in the cloud with different cloud providers. And for that reason, we have the different possibilities to tag the data when we are ingesting the data into the Splunk environment. We have the possibility to filter the data. We have all the field expressions, what you could use to leverage the data when we are ingesting the data into the Splunk environment. And then we are covering this during the ingestion, the data. For that reason, we have different possibilities, and we have all the possibilities for our customers to prevent them and go for all these government requirements.
Thanks to all our panelists for the insightful contributions today. Feel free to contact us if you want to have a deep dive session with one of these vendors or more, and to analyze your top use cases. See you next time, and thanks for watching.